What do you get when you throw two natural born intuitive mediums together with a passion for animals and empowerment?
Spirits, angels, and guides. Oh my. I'm empowerment medium Tara Diana.
And I am intuitive medium Nancy Brady. Together, we focus on the good,
The bad,
and the ugly of working with the spirit realm.
but mostly we're focusing on the good.
Hey everyone, and hello, Tara. How are you doing, hon?
I am lovely. Very happy to be here. This is one of my favorite times is to hang out with you doing the podcast.
Oh, thanks. Ditto. So this is, as you know, one of my favorite segments where we have listener questions that are sent to us and we just get into the nitty-gritty.
I love the fact that we've only been doing the podcast for a little while and we have people sending us questions. I'm like, okay, someone's paying attention to us. Let's go. Love it. And these questions, you and I quickly, you let me know what the questions were beforehand because you have them. You took them down from the individuals. And I was like, these are damn good questions. These are questions that people are going to be interested in. And they're important questions too, I feel.
Absolutely. And a little plug for us before we get started. If you do enjoy the podcast, send us a note, send us your questions, give us 5 stars. It helps get us to the top of the rating so people can listen to us. And what do you say we just get into it?
Let's go.
Okay. So our first question's from Danny. And sorry, Danny, I'm not sure if it's a boy or...
Oh, that's interesting that normally we are a very feminine kind of thing. So let's go. Let's make Danny a man.
Or sorry, Danny, if you're a girl, we're not sure. Or whatever it is you are, Danny. We just love you and being part of our podcast. So Danny says, I had a reading and what the psychic told me would happen didn't. Do you think they were a bad psychic?
Hell yes. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah, no. Actually, this comes up very often. Retract. Actually, it doesn't come up very often for me. It comes up periodically. And I want to say this. When people come in with specifics, now he's talking about a psychic, or she or they are talking about a psychic. And so they have probably gone into this session with specific questions. How's my future? Am I going to find a lover? Am I going to get married? It's like I told you about TikTok. Remember when I go live on TikTok, I'm like slammed with all those questions of like, am I going to get married? Questions that, because I'm a spiritualist and I work from a spiritual kind of place are not my forte. Spirit will answer them, but not my forte. So here, I feel like this person may have come in and said, hey, will I get the job tomorrow? Or, am I going to win the lottery? Those kinds of questions. And I don't find those questions are very powerful. When they come to me, I'll answer them if they have booked a session with me. If Spirit has the answer, if they don't, I simply don't answer. But to answer that question that was given, the answer is there are so many paths. And it is your personal responsibility, free will choice, what path you take. So if the medium, psychic, intuitive reader is looking this way and Spirit says, okay, well, if Danny, trots down this path, this is what we see. That you should give them at this time. That is where they're going. And Danny hears the message and then walks out the door and says, now I'm hanging a left.
Exactly.
They've taken themselves out of the situation. The other thing, that it's not always about us. It's not just about what's happening with us. So for example, Nan, if someone comes in and says, is my boyfriend going to propose to me? And the path is showing, absolutely, this is going to happen. Timelines and that stuff. I mean, there are some people that do that and do it really well. That's not my forte. I can tell you what Spirit gives me. And so the boyfriend or the girlfriend, I don't know if the girlfriend's proposing, it's a free world, doesn't do it because something's changed on their path.
And, you bring up such a key point. I'm the same as you. I get a lot from Spirit. I'm not a fortune teller. I can't give you lottery numbers. I will give you what Spirit presents to me. But we are a soul living a human experience. We have free will. Danny, you could have done anything walking out of that reading that changed the direction you were going. Or even the other thing is sometimes it's not meant for us at that time, but what's meant for us will never miss us. So it's one of those.
Oh, boom.
Good job. But it's like one of those things that you can't put all of your faith in one reading. And the other thing I want to say is sometimes this periodically comes up for me as well. And what I find often, Tara, is people need to do the work as well.
Oh, I was just going to say that. I was so itching to interrupt you. I was like, I would speak, Nancy. But you're right. Go, baby. Go. Tell them.
Yeah. Well, it's just, Tara and I are both mediums that are going to give you homework. If you come to us for a reading, we are going to give you stuff to do. We're going to suggest different avenues that you can work on yourself, work with yourself, work for yourself, with your higher self, your guides, all the loved ones, the animals, you name it. We're going to throw it out there. But it's up to you to do the work. It's just like me going to the gym. I am not going to get strong muscles by wishing that I'm going to the gym. I'm going to get strong muscles by doing leg day and doing arm.
Yes.
So,
Yes, girl, sing it.
Yeah. So,
Louder for the people in the back.
so Danny, I say take a step back, look at the reading, look at where things could have maybe changed, where you could have maybe taken a different direction. And don't give up on it. It doesn't mean it wasn't wrong or it's not happening. It just might not be right now.
It's like that. Remember that story I tell about going to see that galactic person who channeled Cryon? I can't remember his name. Lee Carroll, I think. Don't shoot me if that's wrong, but I think it's Lee Carroll anyway. And he told that story about how, someone went to a psychic, told them that they were a healer and that they were going to have this amazing healing retreat, et cetera, et cetera. He went home. He told his wife, I'm quitting my job. You're quitting your job. We're selling our house. We're buying this retreat up on the hill and we're going to be, famous and do the energy work and loved by everyone. And within 3 years, they were bankrupt. Everything was gone. And he went back to that psychic medium or whomever and said, you told me. And the psychic said to him, I didn't tell you when.
Nice.
Right? So that leads into a lot of question about the ethics, right? If you come for a reading, nothing that we give you is set in stone. Nothing, because you have that free will choice. Okay, on to the next question, my boo.
Okay, so the next question we have is from Karen. Why do you charge for readings? Isn't this a gift from God? And let me start again without her laughing. Why do you charge for readings? Isn't this a gift from God that you should do for free? Tara, go.
First of all, the goddess says that there's always an energetic exchange. If there is not an energetic exchange, and I'm going to get into this in a way here that everyone will understand it, energetic exchange comes from a place of gifting each other. So for lots of us, it is financial because we do this full time or we do this to be of service. And to be of service, we still have to have a roof over our head and we still have to, pay our bills. So you can give me a can of soup and we will find a way to work together. Mm-hmm. I have never, ever turned anyone down because they cannot afford at the time to have a session. I have found a way, whether it's answering one question, whether it's providing, something in a smaller way. I have always done that. And I've given a lot away at no charge. And I know you have, I know many of the spiritualist practitioners do that. But where does it say that this is a gift? Everyone can do this. Not everyone should, but everyone can do this. So why? You're not putting me on a pedestal. No one else is putting me on a pedestal. You're simply wanting me to give what I have. And let's say it was a talent, Nancy. Let's just say this was a talent, or a really great skill set. You don't go into your doctor and be like, hey, you need to diagnose me, treat me, operate on me for free because you can.
I was just going to say that, Tara, because it is also the service, right? And this leads us to another, could you just tap in? Because that one drives me crazy. I don't ask my accountant to just tap in on my taxes, okay?
I really wish they would.
Wish they would, but it's an energy exchange. It's a an exchange for a service. Same, I agree with you. I've given so many free readings out. Absolutely. I will always work on behalf of spirit. But yes, I have to agree with you, Tara, on that one.
And we'll burn out. Let's be honest. Well, and I have burned out, and I have had to draw boundaries, and I have had to say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can't sit in this consistently and just give you. So for me, it really does come from a place of, I have chosen to do this as my life's work, just as though my accountant, bless his soul, is chosen to do it as his life's work. Therefore, there must be compensation. Therefore, I can continue to do it. You know how we talk about filling our cup and how much we give, and then we have to learn how to give back to ourselves, the heart chakra, green and pink? Isn't that kind of the same thing? If I'm giving to anyone, how am I being filled back up?
Mm-hmm. And you have to be able to eat and brush your teeth with toothpaste that you have to buy.
And my dogs need treats.
Yes, they do. All right. We're going to leave that with you, Karen. Any comments or feedback, throw us another email. Next one. Sue says, why do some psychic mediums use cards in their readings? Now, we did, if you want to go back a couple episodes, we did talk about tools and the various tools and communication styles, but I do feel this is a great question to answer specifically for Sue. Go, Tara.
Go, Tara. Okay. Because cards are really, really great in a mediumship reading. If you're giving all this evidence, if you're doing a one-on-one or in a group setting, sometimes the information's coming fast and furious, right? So you're giving all this information a little maybe more specifically towards talking about maybe a career or relationships or something like that, as opposed to doing evidential mediumship. And you can see that the person is just being lambasted with your information. So sometimes it's really, really a blessing to take the cards, because spirit will never let you down. Take the cards and legitimately just pull one and say, see, because the card will always, if you truly connected to spirit, if you are truly connected, the card will always resonate. So now the person has a visual. So your mind will lock into the visual and will be like, okay, I understand. So for me personally, when I'm doing TikToks and Instagram lives and Facebook lives and all those things, the cards are the easiest way for me to get to as many people as possible, right? It's still spirit working with me. I could read a tea leaf. Please don't come at me, tea leaf readers. But I could read a tea leaf without knowing how to read a tea leaf, because spirit tells me everything. That's why I call myself the lazy medium, because I will go and learn different, etiquettes and things like that and different ways to raise vibration. But if you're going to sit down with a tarot deck and put the book in front of me and tell me to learn what an 8 of Cups is, I will say it every time, boo. No, spirit just tells me that's how I work. And spirit's never wrong.
I do want to add a disclaimer, though, because I have worked certain psychic fairs where I've watched, and Tara's going to cringe when I say this.
Oh, God.
The reader next to me use a deck of cards and pull the book out and read the definition to the sitter. No. You don't want that. What I know. What Tara and I are talking about is you're basically having a visual representation of what spirit has downloaded to us. It's an additional thing. People love to have that visual representation, because sometimes it's really hard for the sitter to understand how we were sitting here and connecting to the other side, to the divine, to whatever it is we're connecting to. But that brings in that beautiful visualization, because it allows them to connect.
You know what else, though, Boo Boo? Nan? I've taken to calling you Nan. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's all good. A lot of my friends call me Nan, so you can do it too.
Oh, thanks. Solidified our friendship. Nan, it is. But the other thing is the confirmation. People get so excited when you've given them this full message, and then you're like, wait, I'll show you with the cards. And I go, boop, boop, boop. And they're like flabbergasted because it matches. And it's like this aha moment that goes, she was really there. She was really doing the work. It's cool. And I know what spirit's doing with me. I know I can't force the person to take the message. I can't perceive it for them. I cannot over-explain it. It's not up to me to do that. I cannot interpret the reading. I can only give what I get. So sometimes those cards, guys, they're the thing that solidifies that message for you. And now the individual is sitting in that energy and that power. What they do with it after that is up to them.
Up to them. All right. I love that. So hopefully that helps explain it too. Next, we've got 2 more questions before we wrap it up. So we've got, how do I know if I need to see a medium or a psychic? And this is from John. So we do know John is a he.
Okay.
John,
you going?
I don't know, but we're going to go with he.
Okay, John. Well, most people that do this work call themselves intuitive medium, psychic medium. I personally feel there is a difference between a psychic and a medium. Right?
Yeah.
I personally feel that. Psychics do energy work. So what I mean by that is they're reading auras. They're reading what's coming off you, the waves of energy that's coming off you. They're seeing colors, auras, things like that. And they're tapping into you. They're tapping into you as the human. And mediums are tapping into spirit. Hey, someone tell me something. Like, oh, tell this person something. Where's it coming from? Okay. That's my personal idea of it. But most people call themselves psychic mediums. Why? Because we are doing the work at the same time. So can you imagine? Now, I don't know if psychics necessarily do mediumship work all the time. I believe that there is always spirit working with you in whatever regard. And you can fight me on that later. But I believe that. So I believe if you are doing psychic work, you're still connected to spirit. If you're reading the tarot, you're still connected to spirit. If you're reading oracle, still connected. Dowsing, whatever you're doing, spirit's still there going, okay, I'm helping you, whether you like it or not. Yeah. But mediumship is connecting to spirit and feeling that vibration and moving through. So I believe we do it regardless, both of them. So how do you know if you need a psychic? Well, if you are not interested necessarily in receiving messages from the other side, you would go to a psychic. If you're looking solely to be told if something's going on with you, what's coming on down the road, remember, there are no fortune tellers. So if anyone says to you, I can predict your future, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. F off. Like, no, that's the same with the gypsies. We talked about this before. $3,000, I'll take the curse off you. There is no curse off on you. It's only a curse if you believe it. All that stuff. So, psychic, if you're going to find out, career changes, where should I be going? What should I be doing? Psychic card readers are excellent for that. If you're looking for the whole shebang, a medium should be able to help you by working with your guides, by also reading energy and having your guides decipher it and give that to you. That's my personal opinion, Nat.
Absolutely. I once heard one of the Hay House authors say that every medium is a psychic, but not every psychic is a medium.
That is it. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Thank you for so eloquently putting it.
But, and it is a different type of connection. Like, so I'm a psychic medium. I'm also an animal communicator, energy worker. But with me, when I have someone sit down and sit with me for a reading, I basically say, okay, what are we here for? What are we looking to do? Are we wanting to connect with a loved one? Are we looking for guidance? What is it? Because my mediumship is what I connect with first, because it's a different vibration. And then I bring it into psychic. And I often teach that to my students, as I know you do, Tara, that there's a different energy connection for the mediumship work versus the psychic, and knowing the difference of when you're in those two energies, right?
Right. It's funny because, and I'm just going to bring this up because I think this is a good time for this, is I do trance mediumship. And so I did a display. I did a display of trance mediumship. I think it was in February, and it was really well received. And I was in a group setting, and I just decided at the end of it, let's just do it. And so a woman came to me afterwards and she said, why would I get a reading? Like, what would be a reason for me to ask for a trance mediumship reading? And I said, well, when you're looking for something above and beyond. So when you're not, this is not going to be an evidential, I don't loved ones or anything like that. This is going to be a higher vibrational being. So number one, you have to believe in that. You have to believe that people can connect and align with higher vibrational beings such as archangels, ascended masters, etc. And sometimes they're even just higher vibrational spirits on the other side, not loved ones. I just need to make sure I'm not channeling grandmother for you. And that's not me. That might be another channeler. And that's great, but that's not me. So what kind of message would they receive? Well, they would receive a message that would be for their highest and best. Most trance channelings that I have done have been for the collective, for the bigger picture. Sometimes they are directed at someone. I did one for a man whose name has totally, David. I did one for him just out of the blue in a group setting again. And it was his guide coming through and gave this very powerful message to him, which blew him right out of the water. So why would you get a trance message? Well, you would be looking for something bigger, something really powerful to shift and change what's going on within you.
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Our last question. This is a kind of up my alley. I want you to go first on this question. Okay.
Oh dear. Okay.
Is communicating with animals on the other side the same as communicating with animals that are here? That's from Tracy.
That really is your forte, and I'll tell you why. I can bring animals in from the other side. So I can connect to people's loved ones. I brought those 3 ducks from England, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. I love that. That is the best story ever for another time. But I don't necessarily talk to animals here. You're my Dr. Doolittle, right? So for me, I'm going to say no. No. And you know what? I mean, I've never really sat down and read animals that are here. So for example, like I can tell an animal's demeanor, I can read their energy, but know what they're feeling, that's why like you called me when Cookie was getting ready to cross and you offered. I try not to call you all my animals because I have many. But and maybe that's because I'm too close to them. I don't know. But I don't personally, I can communicate with the animals that are crossed, but I don't do that here.
And that's why I wanted you to go first, because it is a very unique, and it just like Tara does trance, I don't do trance.
There you go.
I do Dr. Doolittle. I do local animal communication. I do all of that. And it is very different. Every medium can communicate with animals who have transitioned, spirits who have transitioned, whatever it is on the other side. Communicating with an animal here in living is very, very different. And it's very different from the psychic work that I do as well. So it is, I find it's a different way energetically that I have to connect. And it's just this, we're returning to that word gift that I have had since I was a child. I thought it was very normal that everyone could hear animals. And I didn't
right.
just how unique and special it was until I started honing my skill set and just really starting to learn more. So, no, Tracy, it's different. And it's something that's absolutely fantastic. I'm very honored I have the gift and I'm able to do it and to help animals deepen their connection to their people. Because, Tara. Yes, Tara.
Well, I just think this goes back to the question about why do we charge? Why, and getting burnt out and things like that. I mean, we all have pets. I mean, I have 3, right? You have several. Lots of people have more than one pet. And I think that it would be really, really, again, time-consuming and draining if every person called you every single time their pet was not feeling good. Oh, Nancy, can you just tap in? I think that in their heart, they're just scared. There's something going on with their animal. They need an answer right away. But I also think in a lot of ways, it's disrespectful because they're calling you up and asking you, calling their vet is an option, but they're calling you. Now, they're calling you because they're scared. I understand all of that. I mean, there's been many times I'm like, okay, someone needs to talk to Doji here because this ain't happening. Like, what is going on? But I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't do that. Just like someone else wouldn't say, hey, Tara, could you go deep into trance and pull me a message from Kuan Yin, please? I need to know if the stars are aligning. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think it's really important that people remember that we do this work to be of service, but we are not defined by this work per se, which means that we still have to live our human lives.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got off topic there, but it just made me think about, people calling and saying, my dog's not feeling good, Nancy, what do you feel? Or can you tell me what I need to do for them? And I think it's really important.
I get that all the time. And the other one I get all the time is when an animal is getting ready to transition. And you're 100% right, Tara. It comes from the most pure places in their heart. We love our animals sometimes way more deeply than we love our humans. And so I 100% get it. But it is definitely, it is an energetic exchange as well. Cause I do have to get out of my human to get my spirit to connect to. So it takes prep time. Like I know a lot of times for some of the listeners out there who have seen Tara and I do live demonstrations or platform work, we connect immediately. We don't need to go through, the opening meditation and this and that. But when I'm doing animal work, I want to do as much respectful work as I can. And I do take the time to go into meditation, to open up, to connect deeply with the animal, their higher self, because yes, animals have a higher self, to connect with the person who's hired me higher self and get everybody all talking. I call it a soul room that I go to. And it takes a lot of work to get into there, just to start doing that work.
But so let's take a step back for a second. When you and I are doing platform work, when I'm doing card pulls, let's not make this to be like, it's just wing, 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 because you and I have already started to think about it, right? I mean, I don't sit in those meditative states. I don't do any of that anymore, but I do prepare myself in the way of walking the dogs that morning, being like, this is what today looks like for me. This is what I'm open to. This is the work I'm going to do.
Yes.
Right? Okay, we're good. Spirit's like, yay, let's go. And then we do the work. If people start lambasting me all over the place and I'm trying to focus, like, for example, on the summits, right? The soul summits. And so I'm trying to engage with people who have questions and what that. And all of a sudden, Susie Q comes through and says, oh, Tara, I need you to answer me this question. I had one this morning and I haven't responded to it because I'm so busy.
Yeah. Because, stop, shift, change.
Yes, that's it.
And that's it. And there's nothing wrong for the up and coming mediums listening to this podcast to do the ritual. I did that for the first few years.
The ritual.
I did that.
I did too.
Opening. Yeah. Like we all have. It's just, we're talking in the capacity of different, how we set ourselves up now currently as who Tara is and who Nancy is. So that we're not discrediting any rituals, any opening. And like I said, it used to take me half hour to do all of that. But now it's almost like, it's kind of like when you ride a bike, you just do it faster each time. Right.
Well, exactly. I mean, I've been doing this work for 22 plus years. I mean, if I can't do this lickety split, then heaven knows. And sometimes people love the ritual aspect of, though. It's a moment to calm, to go into their space. Look at me. Do I look like that person? No, I need to be like over there.
She's a Scorpio. She's incapable. I understand.
I just need to go. So there you go, right? That's the thing. So anyway, and any more questions? Because I feel like we're questioned out.
I know that was our last question. I think we wrapped it up nicely. So Tracy, if we left anything in the gray, definitely reach out and email us about that and we can further explain. It's actually serendipitous that we're ending it on animals because our next episode is going to be about spirit animals. So you guys are going to want to tune in for that.
You are. And we are going to go right into it. And we are going to look just like this. So you're going to be like, what? And we are just going to use our time wisely. Let's go, Nancy. Move on to the next one, girl. Okay, that's it. Bye, everyone. She's Nancy. I'm Tara. We'll see you in 2 minutes.
See you, everyone.